what's going on there with all like, all the things that happen in the Middle East. I'm telling you, people are like, just, they have so much like full of love and joy and family and connection and like the biggest spirits you'd ever see. You wouldn't even know that all that was going on sometimes.
Fire.
Message.
Want to pull up.
Yeah.
I want to pull up.
Cuzzo, they say we rehearsed this shit, but what was the key word that I honed in on when she talked about that whole eating situation? What was the key word I honed in on?
Yeah, hookah.
Yeah,
I said you fit right in.
If I'd have said it, they'd have been like, we rehearsed this shit.
Fit right in. I said you fit right the fuck in. He's like,
You got me on hookah.
You look more Lebanese than I do right now. Okay, your hookah in your hand, so you're more prepared than me.
Look, I said yes and hookah.
Yeah.
I just got another question about it too. Really quickly, I know a lot of the times we have a misconception about women's rights in the Middle East in general versus the United States. When you went home now, obviously experiencing the difference in both stages as a child and an adult. If you had it to do it all over again, would you decide to grow up in Lebanon and experience that all the way through, or would you still come to America for the benefits of that and do it that way?
Yeah, Lebanon is different than other countries, right? So it's not all the same, but and Lebanon was definitely for a long time a country where like every religion could live and cohabitate in the space, and it was it's a very peaceful place. Lebanon it's really old, right? It's like before it was called Lebanon, they were called Phoenicians by the Greeks. Before that, we were Canaanites, and so it's like trading cedar wood with ancient Egypt. It's been around for a long time, and always like in a place of peace. You don't ever hear them like us like outwardly going to war, right? But there's a lot of turmoil there. But living there as a woman, you can live really freely, and so I don't think I think if I lived there, I could have lived a really happy, fulfilling life and had a lot of joy there. I do appreciate like my parents being so open and like liberal to move here and like completely shift and change their lives. They actually met here. And, as much as this country is wild, there's like a lot of beauty in it as well too. So I'm not mad for being here. I just think as an adult, like I want to go visit a lot more and like make sure I stay connected.
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? How did you get into tell us about getting into the industry? What was the school life like? Like, how did you? It's not a linear path. How did you get it?
Yeah. I went to so many different paths. So I went to school and wanted to be a journalist. Like I was a kid and I liked, Lois Lane and April from Ninja Turtles. And I just saw like a lot of like badass people, like just, doing things, and it felt like really exciting. And then I started working in magazines and I was so bored. I was like, this is not what I thought it would be. So I moved into higher ed space. I was like captain of the dance team in college and like learned so much in my extracurriculars, sometimes more than I did even in my classes, of like how to run a business, how to run a team, how to manage things. So I went into higher education and I started off in like student activities, really helped building leaders on campuses, and leadership development became a really big passion of mine. And then higher doesn't pay a lot. I don't know why I'm whispering, but it's no secret.
As soon as you said higher ed, I said, oh no.
I was just a little, sometimes it moved a little slow for me. I was like young and I just wanted to move fast and make change, and things take a little time. So, and then I moved into the corporate space and I started planning and developing like training conferences for people in corporate spaces, and more talent development. And then I loved that, but I really missed having an impact on youth, like working with young people, like, developing older leaders is amazing, and it's a lot of work, but there's like a different feeling that you get when there's people who are like they're ready, they're eager, they want to learn. So I went back and forth and doing like talent development and leadership development in different spaces and in different industries. I then worked like with college campus leaders across the country. I planned conferences across the country at different colleges. And I started becoming a facilitator as well, like doing the actual teaching and the lessons. And that became a huge passion of mine. And then, there was one point I was like ready for a change and a shift. And I started like meditating and manifesting. And I'm like, this is what I need right now. And I found a role at the 4A's. And I first started at the 4A's planning their conferences and events, like producing a lot of like conferences and events for the advertising industry to support them. And then I found out about the 4A's Foundation, and like I fell in love with it. It is such a beautiful nonprofit that really like has an impact on the industry, more so than I think anything else that is happening there. So they're with MAPE and with a lot of like talent development. I got to meet a lot of really amazing leaders in the talent, the DE&I space. And I just started like building all parts of me. That entrepreneur that I told you about, like that's in my DNA came out because I'm like running a nonprofit. I'm also helping build programs. I'm also helping like consultant strategy agencies. And I just like started falling in love with all of it. And then Netflix gave me a call, and it was kind of like this perfect match of like, how do we work with our creative agencies to help make sure we're aligning with our inclusive practices and values? How do we also like take a look at our practices and the work that we're doing and make sure that they're, you know, like we're embedding inclusion into the creative process? And Netflix really wanted to build a program that helped really diversify the industry, right? Like Netflix is one part of this creative industry, but we have creative agency partners. We do so much in different spaces. It's like, how do we like make sure that the hands that touch our work are diverse from every level and every point? And being able to build a program like that required a certain set of skills that I just happened to have. And so it was like a really cool experience. And I love
you said that.
It like took me to the next level, honestly, of like who I am. It pushed me out of even further into pulling all the parts of me out to make sure that like everything is seen through with like the widest lens possible. And so it's been an incredible journey. And then in that first role, I built Access, and we really wanted to be really intentional with the program and see it through and really have the impact we wanted. And so now like that is my main focus, is like really running this program. So I don't know how I got here, to be honest with you. I just know that I learned at an early age, like instead of trying to figure out like, oh, I can't be in this industry. Can I be in this industry? What do I have? What do I don't have? I just learned who I was and who I am. And I'm like, that is what I bring to every single thing that I do. And so I don't know. I don't need to feel stuck in an industry. I will go wherever. And I know what you're going to get is me. And I know I can figure out what you do. I can figure out the industry. I can figure out the roles. I can figure out the job. But what you're going to get is me and how I do it. And that's like what's helped me really like be successful in any space.
Yeah, that's real. But let's unpack it though. Right?